Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meow Mix, Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven,
My name is Jerry.
and we are here to discuss week 3 of the preseason. It is over for the Carolina Panthers. Cuts have begun, and Jerry, we are on the road to week 1 of the
I
regular season.
it's so fast. Just the other
So
day, it was
fast.
like we are so excited for week one football and our preseason football, and now we're done with the preseason,
Done.
and now everything's gonna count for real, for
For
realsies.
real. For realsies. And I got to say, after last night, I do feel a little more optimistic, I think, about the offense and Bryce Young in particular than maybe I felt after the first couple of preseason games.
Yeah, I don't think I never went down on Bryce Young. I did go
Oh, I
down
hope not.
well, on the first preseason games. I didn't think anything that was an
He's your
issue was
type.
his fault. That being said, there are some question marks that I was not expecting at this current moment. But Icky, you're that question mark right now, buddy. I hate saying it, but I agree. Overall, I feel a lot better after this week.
I thought the offensive line overall looked better last night than they had so far. There was one egregious icky miss, but overall, Bryce, I got sacked once, I believe, and I don't think he got hit other than that, except for when he ran.
Yeah, and I think he ran in smart moves. Like he
Yeah.
made quick decisions and got out of there. He needs to work on his baseball slide. I don't want you to get rocked. I
Yes, he
mean,
does.
I mean that's
Yeah.
truth.
And he mentioned that in his post game press conference that they were going to get him some sliding lessons. He said he never played baseball or anything, so he's never really had to learn how to slide. But yeah, that was something that we saw last night that we hadn't seen so far from
Yeah,
Bryce is the running. Really, I mean, I think he scrambled once or twice in the first 2 games, but he certainly seemed to be way more ready to use his legs.
I felt like they gave him a go. If that makes any
Mhm.
sense, they say, "Hey, with the O line, usually we don't want you to run in preseason to get something injured, but if you're getting
Yeah,
surrounded, take what you can, get down." That I would assume that's what the coaches said. That's what I would have told him.
and I know Frank Reich called the plays in the first half yesterday. I think that's the first time he's called plays in the preseason. I think. Because I know Thomas Brown was calling most of the plays the first couple of weeks, but you could tell a difference in what they wanted to do with the first team this game because they threw the ball early and often. He
Eh,
had as many throws in the first quarter of this game than he had through the first 2 preseason games combined.
yeah, I mean, 12 throws. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
And then you have those couple run plays that were not designed run, 3 rushes. So, I mean, 15
Yeah.
pass plays in the first, what was it, 3 drives? So,
2 drives.
2 drives. My
He was
apologies.
out there for 2 drives, scored on both, touchdown, finally broke the seal on the touchdowns. Beautiful pass to Adam Thielen that, got him right over the goal line. So really nice. I thought Bryce looked great. I mean, honestly, I think we tend to forget that this guy's a rookie,
Yeah.
right? And he's just out of Alabama. Rookies struggle, but he is looking very calm, very poised, like he belongs. I'm really excited for week 1.
I am too. Especially with the all the gadgets and everything that's going to actually make some of these guys get open.
Yeah.
I was a little. He did this too with no DJ Shark, no Terrace
hmm
Marshall Jr., no Laviska Shenault. He did this with only Adam Thielen and Mingo, who only got what, one target. I felt like,
I think he only had 1 catch for sure,
yeah,
but yeah,
he had 2 targets.
2 targets. Okay.
But I mean, he was doing it with the lower, not lower end guys. That sounds bad, but not his premier weapons besides Thielen and Mingo. So I was impressed. I kind of wish I would have saw a little bit more from Mingo. That first play, I thought he almost broke it out, but then I didn't see him again, and I was just like, I wish I would have gotten him a little bit more into the game, but we'll see.
Yeah. Thielen was his favorite target. 4 catches for Thielen. Um, Derek Wright was out there. I think Derek Wright started the game. So that was kind of surprising. He was a guy that I didn't think was going to make the roster. Now I think he will make the roster. Um, yeah, I mean, Spencer Brown looked really good. I think he earned a roster spot last night if he wasn't already on the roster.
I I'll be interested what they do with that running back because Chuba Hubbard has been kind of penciled in as that number two guy, but
Hmm.
Blackshear offers you so much in the special teams as well. And then, like you said, Spencer Brown's a different style back too. He's a bigger back that this team may need. So, is it
Yeah.
Chuba, Blackshear, or Spencer Brown probably going to be hitting the waiver wire?
Pro- Can they keep all three? And long, I mean, can you keep four running backs? If one of them is primarily a special teamer, you probably can.
There's only so many roster spots, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's probably one more than they normally would, but Spencer Brown, I thought really did a nice job last night. He certainly looked like the best running back out there. I think he scored a touchdown, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Nice touchdown.
I was gonna say he looked the best running back out there all preseason, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he certainly got the most carries
Yeah,
and he certainly got the most yards. Now, he didn't look like a starter in my opinion, but in terms of a guy that can come in and spell, Sanders for a few minutes,
yeah. Get those nitty
pretty good.
gritty like 3rd and 1 rushes. I mean, that's kind of how he scored that touchdown. Was a pile moving the pile.
Right. Yeah. That was impressive. Um, yeah. I mean, if he's not on the Panthers roster, he should be on a roster, I think, because he got some skills.
I would say it wouldn't shock me if a team picked him up if he
Yeah.
got waived. I think this organization did him a favor by letting him score. I think they did him a favor by letting him play so much this preseason. And
Hmm.
if he doesn't find a home here, I agree. I think he deserves to be on a roster, at
Yeah.
least in the practice squad vicinity.
Yeah. A lot of defensive starters out yesterday. I still thought the first team or whatever the first group of defensive players that were out there were played pretty well. The special teams gave up a big return to the Lions the first kickoff of the game for them, and the defense stood strong, forced a punt, or actually forced a field goal attempt that missed,
Yeah,
way short. But yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good about the first team overall.
yeah.
Offense and defense. Maybe not special teams that looked a little suspect, but um, Eddie P came back, kicked well. So I mean, feels like we're going into the regular season in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to put the caveat that the Lions did not start their starters either. So,
Did they?
our,
I know they didn't start Goff. Were any of their other starters playing?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Maybe like a couple of them, but not
yeah,
kind of like our defense was not our starters. It was probably
right.
like that type of situation. But either way, yeah, I feel so much better. Bryce Young could be very fun if we can protect him because
Yeah,
those throws to Thielen, that one crosser, and then that 3rd
hmm,
down touchdown. Oh
yeah. And he had
man, right
another
on the
great
money.
throw to
Sorry.
Yeah, he had another great throw to Thielen that Thielen dropped.
Oh yeah,
That I think it was either a 2nd and 12 or a 3rd and 12 throw that Thielen just couldn't handle, but it was right on him. And yeah, what did you think about Andy Dalton? He didn't inspire a ton of confidence, but that was his first
wow.
time out there this year. So
I still trust Andy Dalton to be a good backup quarterback. That being said, if he didn't have the resume, I would be really worried
yeah,
because he looked
yeah,
lost out there. He definitely looked, rusty.
yeah. He did look rusty. He didn't seem like there was a lot of timing with any of the guys out there. Threw a pick. So I- not overly concerned because hopefully we don't see him out there playing much, but you know, didn't instill a ton of confidence. Matt Corral probably gone,
Yeah,
or maybe he sticks on the roster as the emergency quarterback, but I worry for his career.
I do too. I mean, let's go over his stats real quick. 4 for 12 out of 12, 52 yards. I mean, come on. That's 1 in 3 passes. It's not good, man. I know you're not
No.
playing with the best talent out there, but at the same time,
Well, he got a lot of snaps out this preseason with, if not starters, second
second
team
string.
guys.
Yeah.
And, he was out there with, Wright, who was a starter tonight, with Shy Smith, guy who has started in the NFL, guys with talent. And he just didn't impress at all, in my opinion.
No,
And certainly last night he looked rough.
I'll be curious to see what they do with him as he was a third stringer last year. He does have some talent. It's just not coming out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if they keep two or three quarterbacks. If they are dead set on just keeping two QBs, then Matt Corral's probably gone. If they, are worried about Bryce potentially getting hurt at some point, maybe it's smart to keep a third, and Matt Corral's probably fine unless somebody else gets cut that you want to bring in.
Or maybe we're not seeing what the coaches are seeing, and maybe Matt Corral shows flashes during practice that, hey, he needs to work on things, but we can groom him. Again, this is a very quarterback centric coaching staff that has seen quarterbacks before, so you never know what they might see that we don't see.
True, true. And Matt Corral, to his credit, did show some speed when he took off and ran a couple of times. So I would like to see more of that part of his game. I think that's really underutilized. He hasn't been able to show a lot of that so far. So I think if he could incorporate that into his overall game, that could open some things up for him because he's pretty quick.
Yeah, he had that one rush, 27 yards.
Yeah. All right, let's just take a look at a couple of the other stats here and wrap this up. So Bryce did end up going 7 for 12, 73 yards and a touchdown. Also had 21 rushing yards. So almost a total of 100 yards for him just in the first quarter. Again, touchdown, no interceptions. He did get sacked once. Corral 4 for 12, 52 yards, as you said. Andy Dalton 6 for 11 for 60 yards and an interception. And then Jake Luton 6 for 12, 74 yards and an interception. So Luton, I think, is gone for sure.
Yeah.
Corral just depends on what the coaching
TBD.
staff wants to do. Yeah. Rushing wise, Spencer Brown, 13 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. The best, by far, running back performance that we've had this preseason. Corral and Bryce Young were the next two leading rushers. Blackshear, 3 for 9, and then Cameron Peoples, a very forgettable night for him. 4 for 4 and 2 lost fumbles. One of them went through the end zone and caused a touchback. That terrible rule that will never get changed.
I don't think we even said the score of this game.
Well, the Panthers lost 26-17. Who cares? Honestly.
I was just thinking about that. I was like,
Yeah. Panthers go 0-3 in the preseason, but again, it doesn't matter. Gary Jennings.
Matters.
Yeah. Next week matters. Gary Jennings led the receivers, 4 for 52. I thought he looked pretty good, but he got cut this morning. So he's out. Ricci 3 for 50. I thought Ricci looked nice. I mean, we've talked about Ricci for a while as somebody that we'd like to see get out there more in passing situations. Thielen 4 for 48 with a touchdown. Trimble had one 21-yard catch I thought was pretty nice. He also had a drop. He was targeted 4 times. Mingo had the one catch for 14 yards. Shy Smith had a couple of catches. Other than that, nothing really to discuss there. And then defensively, C.J. Henderson had a pass interference at the goal line that I thought was kind of questionable. Did you see that one?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Sorry. It
It
was
was fairly early in the game, but it was, I don't know. I don't think that it was really a pass interference, but they called it pass interference. Otherwise, I think he's had a pretty good preseason, C.J. Henderson.
No, he has, and thankfully he has. But at the same time, there's gonna be some questions, especially with Troy Hill coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, Troy Hill didn't play. Most of the, actually, I think 5 or 6 starters on the defense didn't play at all. We did have a couple of sacks. Ace Ely and Chandler Wooten both had a sack. No idea if either of those guys makes the team. Um, and then Eddie P, 1 for 1 on field goals, 1 for 1 extra points. Hecker, 6 punts. Any other guys you wanted to kind of talk about, call out from the game?
No, after that first string, I was very excited. I was excited
Yeah.
that Bryce Young looks as good as advertised in my head. Just the way he can get the ball out, he can put it on the dime. As long as he can be protected, that's going to be a fun offense to watch, I think.
Yeah, he's just going to get better too.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have some rookie moments. They all do. The best quarterbacks in history have had rookie moments. So when he does, I hope that Panthers fans can take a step back and not go crazy. We'll see. But I think he's going to have a lot more moments that he doesn't look like a rookie in a positive way than he looks like a rookie in a negative way.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm trying to come up with a fun nickname for him because the brain, the professor, the cerebral gunslinger, something like that. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, something with ice, Bryce Ice.
No, I don't.
Because he is like, I mean, I swear he's got a resting heart rate of 40. I mean, that guy is so cool and calm. He is just, but yeah, I mean, the brain, I don't know. Like he's smart, but
Like, just the way he dishes okay.
the professor.
Yeah. We're going to call on our fans here. Anybody else has some good nickname ideas, and we'll bring them up, and we'll try to slap a nickname on Bryce Young.
Yeah,
Mailbag
slap
at
a nickname on him.
mailbag at meowmixpodcast.com or YouTube comments. I'll read those too. I've been trying to think of it because, like I said, the brain, especially with his hair, looks like kind of like a big braid now.
Okay, well, we'll see what the fans have to say. I like the professor maybe, or I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, preseason's over. We don't have to talk about preseason anymore. I'm perfectly happy to move on from the 0-3, mostly not even depressing, just kind of blah preseason that we've had.
Yeah,
But
it
at least
wasn't
we
really.
ended on a positive note.
I was gonna say it wasn't an exciting one. I mean, it was
Yeah.
exciting to see Bryce Young, but it was not exciting
Yeah.
plays and stuff like that.
Not a lot of scoring for the Panthers. And again, we didn't get to see Brian Burns at all, Justin Houston at all,
Miles Sanders, I think it's gonna be a lot.
Miles Sanders at all. Chark got hurt. So we'll see. Terrace Marshall didn't show anything really when he was out there, and then he got hurt. So still a lot of TBD, I think, in terms of what this offense is really going to look like.
I
And
think
defense as well.
I was gonna say I think this whole team is still TBD. I
Yeah.
think that I see what Bryce has, but Frank Reich said that he didn't want to show anything, and I don't think. I think every play was still vanilla, even in this game where, Bryce scored the touchdown. It was fairly vanilla type of scheming.
True. It was just a really good throw by Bryce. I mean, honestly, he was on point. He had a couple of drops that hurt his completion percentage a little bit. He had a throw that was in the dirt on purpose. It was just a blown up screen pass that didn't work. But overall, I thought he was on point. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the roster. I'll just run through the cuts so far. It is about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And I'll just really quickly run through the cuts. BJ Wilson, tackle. Defensive tackle John Penicini, excuse me. Aaron Mosby, linebacker, who has already been signed by the Packers. Cornerback Colby Richardson, already signed by the Lions. I guess they got to look at him last night. Jalen Redmond, defensive end. Jake Luton has been let go. Cameron Peoples has been let go. Gary Jennings, CJ Saunders. A little bit of a surprise there.
This early, yes. Usually he sticks around at least till the last center of wave cuts, but I mean, I guess his coaching staff just didn't like what he was bringing.
Surprising that they cut 2 wide receivers, given the question marks at wide receiver so far. Offensive tackle Larnell Coleman, defensive lineman Antoine Jackson, Bumper Pool, linebacker.
Such a great name. Did not perform as well as he needed to show up on this roster.
Yeah, unfortunate. Colin Duncan and Josh Thomas, both safeties. Kicker Matthew Wright with Eddie P coming back and looking good. He was expendable. And then Rajon Wright, cornerback, another guy that's a little surprising to see cut.
I don't think he looked that good in preseason or
Yeah,
practice. So yeah, with Troy Hill coming in, I mean, I get it.
yeah, true, true.
I he was the guy I was hoping could kind of step into that like undrafted guy who could make the roster, but he didn't show enough, I guess.
Yeah, there was some hope for him, but like you said, he just didn't show enough. All right, well, do you have the roster pulled up? We can kind of just take a look and maybe give some thoughts of guys that could potentially be cut here. We talked about Matt Corral. Well, if you had to make a bet, knowing that Jake Luton's already been cut, would you say Matt Corral's going to make the roster or not?
I think he's going to make the roster this year. I think next year is the more heavily questioned time.
Okay.
Do you,
I think he's not going to make the roster. I think he will be cut.
okay. Derek Wright. Do you think he gets in?
I think he does. Let's look at the wide receivers. I mean,
Well, you got DJ, you got TMJ, you got Thielen, Mingo, Shi Smith, Laviska, Chenault, and then Derek Wright.
I think you've got five. Yeah, I think you've got five for sure with Chark, Mingo, TMJ, Chenault, Thielen. Shi Smith,
Shi Smith and Derek
maybe.
Wright are.
I think it's down between those two, and Derek Wright, I think, has looked better. I know people like Shi Smith around here because he went to South Carolina. He's got a lot of speed, but he just hasn't really shown a lot.
No, and he's
one or
had
two
chances.
good games, but yeah, he has. He had a lot of chances last year. But yeah, I think Javon Wims and Josh Van are also listed as wide receivers. Neither one of those guys, I think, has a shot. Maybe practice squad guys, but in terms of running backs, Cameron Peoples already gone. We know Miles Sanders. I'm gonna assume Chuba.
I'm gonna assume Chuba too because I felt like they kind of started pulling him, not letting him play.
Yeah.
I think they weren't letting a lot of the guys who take a lot of hits play if they were gonna be actually a part of this offensive scheming.
Yeah. Blackshear, I'm gonna assume as well, just because of the special teams
Yep.
aspect that he brings along. So it's really Spencer Brown that going to be the odd man out. Peoples already has been cut. Spencer so far has not. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch. In terms of tight ends, I don't think there's going to be any surprises. Steven Sullivan and Ricci are kind of the two that.
Yeah, but Tommy Tremble, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he gets the axe.
But he's such a good blocker.
I'm just telling you what.
So that's what they told us. He's actually not a good blocker. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't surprise me if he got cut either. I just feel like athletically, well, I don't know. He's not more athletic than Steven Sullivan or Ricci, really. I mean, Ricci, both of those guys that have produced more than Tommy Tremble.
That's
so
what I'm
maybe
saying.
Tommy Tremble's the guy that's out.
That's what I was saying. Like, Tommy Trimble has to worry. I don't think he's solidified in this roster.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan definitely should not be kept.
No, he had another bad night last night.
So it does look like Chandler Savala, in my opinion, won that right guard position.
Yeah, I think maybe. Which, coming in so late, after getting injured and sitting out most of the time, he comes in and he just by far looks the best of anybody that's rotated out of that spot so far. So yeah, until Corbett comes back, I think that's going to be Zavala's spot to lose.
Mm-hmm. Justin McCray will stick on this roster. He could play multiple positions. Tecklenburg
think so?
Yeah, I think McCray will.
You think McCray's in? Okay. Sorry, Tecklenburg. Tecklenburg got cut last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about him. Cade Mays probably going to stick around. Didn't look amazing, but
He started off as the starter. He looked really good in
yeah,
camp. I see them sticking with him, especially
yeah,
because his body size is a big boost. Like,
yeah,
and James Campen is familiar with him already for a year, so I assume they think that something's there.
yeah. Well, let's move on down to the defense. I feel like we feel pretty good about the offense. Defensively, let's just kind of look at some of the defensive ends. Obviously Burns is here. I would assume Marquise Haynes is going to make the team. Barno, I think, has earned a spot. He
Yeah,
certainly looked good last week in the preseason. Henry Anderson, he's been hurt. Haven't really seen him much in the preseason. I think just veteran wise, he's probably going to stick around. Maybe a guy that's going to be inactive a lot of weeks. Yetur. What do you think about the Yetur? Probably in, right?
I think he's in just because he has some ability. That's what it is, and I think Evero will see a place for him. He's not what we were hoping with a second round pick, but I don't think you cut
Yeah.
him either.
He's big and strong, and you know, I don't know. I think he makes the roster just because he was a second round pick and he's big and strong. Honestly, you know. Antoine Jackson's been cut. We talked about him. DJ Johnson's a rookie. He's going to stick around.
Yeah,
He looked all right.
they
Kobe
traded up
Jones.
for him too. So
Yeah, yeah. Kobe Jones. He flashed in camp. Don't know if he's showed enough in the actual preseason games. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut.
yeah, man. And this depth chart, they have Amari Barno behind Kobe Jones, like he and AC Ely.
Yeah.
So
Which
I'm on
depth chart?
Panthers.com.
Okay. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting position to look at.
Yeah, because I think there's a few guys that flashed. Honestly, I didn't think DJ Johnson flashed that much, but again, they traded up to get him, and they're not letting him go.
He's safe, yeah. He's safe. Um, any other edge guys you wanted to talk about
Uh,
or
no.
defensive ends? Derek Brown on the team, Shy Tuttle on the team, Raekwon Williams the starter. It seems like
Well,
at defensive tackle,
they
nose
have
tackle.
Nick Thurman listed here. Nick Thurman's a 305-pound nose tackle. Doesn't make sense because that's a small nose tackle. As someone who's like less than half of that,
Yeah, yeah,
But still, that's. I agree. I think
yeah,
Raekwon Williams will probably end up getting.
yeah. Yeah. So those are the tackles. Linebacker OLB Grugier Hill
Oh,
I think he did enough, right? He can
I
make the
think he
team.
cemented himself as a
Yeah,
as a guy who's going to get regular season playing time the way he played.
yeah. All right, so let's see. Justin Houston definitely on. Deion Jones likely going to make the roster. I mean, they signed him, brought him in. Luvu didn't play last night. He's safe. Brandon Smith. What do you think? He make the roster?
No, I don't think he made the roster. I think he had a decent night last night, but I don't think he makes it.
He had a really nice hit in the backfield last night. Just again, those things that we've seen him flash, but he just can't seem to put it together. Let's see. Let's go down to corner. CJ Henderson gonna make the team. JC Horn, Dante Jackson, Troy Hill. Is that it? I mean, Keith Taylor probably.
I mean, you got Stanley Thomas Oliver that'll make the team as a corner, but he's more of a special teams ace.
Herb
And
Miller.
he's flashed.
Yeah, he's flashed. Herb Miller. Thought he had a couple of nice plays last night. Probably not going to make the team. Rajon Wright already got cut. Yeah, I mean, and then you kind of looked at safety. Von Bell, Xavier Woods, both going to make the team.
Jamie Robinson.
Jamie Robinson, I don't know.
Another
Franklin
draft
definitely
pick.
going to make the team.
Sam Franklin is Probably not.
You don't think Sam Franklin will make the team?
No.
He's a special teams ace. He's definitely going to make the team.
So you think they're going to keep 5 safeties?
I think they'd keep Sam Franklin over Jamie Robinson.
Jamie Robinson was a 4th-round pick?
I think they would keep him over Jamie. I mean, Sam Franklin's good. He's really good. He's a great special teams player, and he actually made some really nice defensive plays in the preseason. I'd be surprised if they cut him. I think it'd be a mistake if they cut him. Big mistake.
See, I think they're going to lean towards the rookie because they draft him. They liked his versatility.
I'm not saying that
I'm
Jamie Robinson's definitely getting cut.
No. I see what you're saying, but I don't see them keeping 5 safeties either. That seems like a lot, especially when you're, like I said, Stanley Thomas Oliver's going to have to stick on this roster.
Are you counting Jeremy Chin as a safety?
No.
So you're not even counting Chin.
No, because you got Woods, Bell, Rowe, and Jamie Robinson, and then Sam Franklin.
We'll see. I would be willing to make a beer bet that Sam Franklin makes the team.
Deal.
All right.
Beer bet of the preseason, because I don't know how to do that one. It's not of the week.
Bet of the preseason. All right. And then, in terms of special teams, we don't really need to talk about that. We know who's making the roster there. So, yeah, I mean, cuts are happening, and I think they have to be down to 53 by Tuesday. So it's going to be interesting to see what other teams do and guys that are available. The Panthers will probably pick up a few. We've got, I think, a top 10 waiver spot. So nice pickings there at some point.
Yeah.
Can probably add a let me give me 2 positions that you think the Panthers will address from cuts from other teams.
First of all, I want to say that I think this team has done a great job in the offseason of really feeling like the Troy Hill was the last signing that I was kind of looking for. So now I could see them looking at more offensive line help, backup tackles and guards. And if a big defensive tackle or nose tackle gets free, I could see them going after him too. If Baltimore has a good backup that gets cut or something like that, I could see that happening.
Do you think Cam Irving makes the team?
I want to say maybe, but that's obviously not the correct answer of this type of podcast.
I mean, we could say that about anybody, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes because he does have that term and familiarity with James Campen, but I also could see him making the roster and then not making the roster right after, i.e. getting cut because another guy gets freed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Like F.A. Obata a couple years ago made the roster, was really excited about it, and then like 2 hours later got cut. Yeah, that was unfortunate. All right, well, yeah, I think wide receiver is going to be addressed. I think they will bring a wide receiver, and probably that's Derek Wright's position is probably the same type of deal with him. He makes the roster initially and then gets cut. And then, yeah, maybe offensive line help.
I think they need offensive line help. I mean, after that first team went away, they struggled horribly. I mean, Michael Jordan's got to be gone. We've gotten some decent backups, and Cade Mays is still young and stuff like that, and McCray, but there's no real backup offensive tackle unless you consider Christensen being kicked out,
which they could do.
Yeah.
I think we both thought he would be an okay backup at left tackle. So we'll kind of see if once Corbett comes back, do they move Zavala over to the left guard and let Christensen just be the backup for left tackle? I mean, that's possible.
Yeah.
So,
but I almost think it's a disservice to Christensen if you're trying to get him into that left guard position, which, I mean, that's all he's played this preseason. Just leave him in the guard position, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're just going to
What
keep
if
tinkering
Zavala's
with his
better?
techniques. If Zavala's better, then yeah.
Do you
But
think Brady Christensen is a better left tackle than Cam Irving?
I would say from what I saw his rookie season, yes.
I mean, that's all I would say. And I would agree with that. All right. Well, hey, we are what, 2 weeks away, 2 weeks and a day away from week one of the regular season, at least the Panthers' first game of the regular season, heading down to Atlanta. We will be previewing that in a couple of weeks. This week, I think we're going to talk. We'll maybe do our prediction show.
We'll do our prediction show, the final roster. I don't know. We'll find something else fun to do because
Surely, yeah, surely there will be some roster moves, some additions that we can talk about.
yeah, we
But
never got to the start bench cut
oh yeah, yeah,
game,
yeah. We've got a little game that we'll play. I think we
but
done. I think we did it once a few weeks ago, but yeah, we'll do that again.
well, I don't know if we can. I mean, this they started cutting way sooner than I expected.
Oh yeah, yeah, true. Well, either way, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun preseason, and we will be back in a couple of weeks. Well, we'll be back next week to talk some fun stuff, and then in a couple of weeks to preview freaking week one.
A real game, real scheming.
So
Oh,
excited. Yeah, no more excuses.
no more
No more
excuses.
excuses for looking crappy, for looking boring. Right,
Yep.
Frank? Let's go. All right.
All right, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMixPodcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. And get your submissions in for a good nickname for Bryce Young because honestly, I want a fun nickname for him.
Yeah. Jerry, real quick, your whisker worry scale. Where are you?
I am now, my whisker worry scale is being drawn back in. I was at 2, now I'm at 1.5.
Okay. I was at 1.5. I am now at 1.5 still.
Okay.
I have the same whisker worry. All right. Well, until next time, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.